So, you all ready to address this?
My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
This tan? Genetics.
BBC said I should keep it PG. BBC, I wish I had it in me.
Taylor Swift, for those who don't know, dated a 17-year-old.
I am getting married to Chris Hughes. Actually, I am not a lesbian.
There's a thread that ties these MAGAT pick-me's together that we unraveling on today's Foreign Friday.
A foreign man in a foreign land.
Let's address this. It's about time. We need to stop the world. I want to get off. There is an epidemic of pick-me's that want to be picked by himself.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Swastika Sweeney. Oh God. Recently collabed with American Eagle, who, given the patriotism being in the name itself, screamed the quiet part out loud. Most media literate folks got the overt eugenic double entendre of good genes coming out of the mouth of an Aryan wet dream like Sydney Sweeney. This is literally a blonde woman in this advertisement being dropped in the last week of Disability Awareness Month. Not long thereafter, the second tower hit. And by second tower, I talking about this lad. This that look like he's supposed to be on Zoe 101. I don't know where you'll find him, but you'll need to send him back.
Look, I didn't ask to be the king of summer.
This is giving a new meaning to White Boy Summer from Chet Boy Hanks.
It just kind of happened. This tan? Genetics.
Why are we talking about genes? It's literally a Dunkin' Donuts ad.
I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally. I can't help it. Every time I drink a Dunkin' Golden Hour Refresher, it's like the sun just finds me.
Does this not seem like the type of guy that's at a frat party trying to roofie your drink?
Also done a collab with Sydney Sweeney, which is super strange. They have a Sydney Sweeney drink.
Every time I drink a Dunkin' Golden Hour Refresher, it's like the sun just finds me.
You dodged the sun like Trump dodged the draft. Y'all had two eugenic Caucasian campaigns drop within days of one another, and I still have people that are, coincidentally the color of my palm, gaslighting me, claiming that this is not indicative of some skullduggery of epic proportions. Sweeney naturally got pushback after the American Eagle ad released, and sycophantic fans were claiming she may have been unaware of the implications. She's just the face of the marketing campaign, they said, not the brains. And not only is it infantilizing to think that she is a dumb blonde who has no agency, but it's also poppycock. Because this blog post from Impact shows an excerpt from the VP of American Eagle's marketing where she basically throws Sydney under the bus, revealing that Sydney wasn't just a face, she was in fact the mastermind behind the vision. During a Zoom call with Sydney, we asked the question, how far do you want to push it? Without hesitation, she smirked and said, let's push it. I'm game. Our response, challenge accepted. From that moment on, she even uses like informal nicknames. Sid, you know she's in there. Sid's sentiment guided every frame, every stitch, and every unexpected twist of the Sydney Sweeney Has Great Genes campaign, infusing our own personal cheeky energy and making us laughing emoji. Is this how y'all getting down on LinkedIn?
I hadn't seen this. For the uninitiated in terms of the Sydney Sweeney lore, Sydney's first political controversy was she was seen in photos attending a party with family members that were wearing MAGA hats and Blue Lives Matter shirts, and it was supposedly some kind of like country themed birthday party. But the way that she addressed it was she went on Twitter and she was like, guys, stop. She didn't outright denounce like, oh, I was just at a party and these people that I don't with happen to be there. That benefits her because she doesn't have to condemn either side of whatever. This happened to Taylor Swift a while back where there were far-right folks who were saying that she was like the Aryan goddess.
The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution.
In Brooke Shields' defense, she was only 14 years old. Swastika Sweeney is a big woman of 27 years of age, full frontal lobe.
I don't know why American Eagle would be like, we're going to reference an ad from our competitor in the space. That's weird to me, just on like a logistics level. Brooke Shields herself has come out and said that she was uncomfortable making these ads and the fact that these ads were circulated. She's literally said, like, I'm not comfortable with what I was made to do when I was 14. And so regardless of the eugenics tone of of the current ad, it is a little strange to me that they were like, we're gonna make a reference to something like this, especially because, I don't know, everybody's freaked over Epstein and Diddy. Why is this something that you would want to evoke right now?
This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment.
Shorty has her foot by her head. Whoever did this needs to go to jail. Someone directed a 14-year-old to put your foot by your head, by your mouth. This is so Schneider coded. Eugenics is the advocacy of improving the genetic quality of the human population. So for folks who wonder what's wrong with improving the quality of people, my retort is, what do you deem to be an improvement? How do you plan on conducting said improvements? Because it's often through selective breeding of one demographic and sterilization of another. Now, pray tell, how would one interested in improving the human gene pool go about deciding which demographic to breed? Which is a term reserved for animals, by the way. Breeding is for dogs and cats. Which demographic ought be sterilized? Niggas forget about the ugly laws during the 1860s. That didn't end until 1970s. And that made it illegal for persons with unsightly or disfiguring disabilities to appear in public. When you bring it back to like Swastika Sweeney, when she, a blue-eyed blonde-haired woman, blows the dog whistle like Gabriel's trumpet, she is mainstreaming and sane-washing one of the most heinous forms of evil the world has ever seen. And the people she's pandering to are MAGA pro-Marx. Keep in mind that Sydney is also being used. Like, given the state of the economy, white folks are also feeling the pinch of uncertainty when it comes to jobs, uncertainty when it comes to housing. In Hollywood, these niggas ain't getting jobs like that. They making AI Netflix movies. All of this is one of the things that would foster class solidarity between poor white folks and other marginalized folks. And the American administration understands this. So in order to stoke tension between these groups and distract people from far more pressing matters, like yet again, Trump and Epstein, they create propaganda, which is this ad, by the way. If you just take away the product, if you take the genes away, you realize that this American Eagle ad is just eugenics propaganda like they had back in the day. This ad showcasing a white nuclear family in an automobile with the damn dog.
What the dog doing?
Look at the damn dog. You got the children in the background and you have them talking about the world's highest standard of living. There's no way like the American way. Meanwhile, you have niggas lined up in the freezing penguin cold of winter. You have Sydney Sweeney in here talking about her good genes. She's a puppet speaking to white poor folks and saying, hey, I know shit is bad, but guess what? You have good genes. So you're above these ashy Negroes. If you can convince the poorest white man that he is worth more than a black man, then you could steal whatever you have in that white man's pocket. Sydney Sweeney bottles her bathwater and turns it into soap you can actually buy. I don't know if I want to live here anymore.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Watch.
It's the fact that it's bathwater. It's the fact that it's a callback to Belle Delphine. It's such a specific catering to a very specific audience who fetishizes her in this way. I've also gotten a lot of critique of people being like, oh, you're just jealous she's hot.
I saw this a lot when folks were making videos criticizing Cooking with Kaya. That retort that people gave to the women making those critiques was, oh, you just mad because she looked better than you. The valid criticism is drowned out by people saying, oh, you must be bitter. The same thing with Sydney. She's not just pandering to men in general. This gal is pandering to the gooch, the taint, the connection between the balls and the ass crack of niggas. Oh God. Like, she is pandering to the worst brand of niggas, the incel type of niggas.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Watch. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men.
There's one thing to advocate for the agency of your own sexuality. I'm all for that. And I believe women, MBs, and everybody should be able to, because historically, men have been able to commodify women's sexuality while they don't get to see any of the money themselves. But that being said, I wonder what the potential pitfalls of one of the leading female celebrities objectifying themselves amidst a backdrop of Trump's America, where women's rights are severely under threat, like with Roe v. Wade, and women's security is under threat, like the T app that just doxed 1 million women's driver's license and addresses when all they were trying to figure out is how to protect themselves from the niggas that she's pandering to. That very place that you go to seek protection ends up putting you in more danger. I wonder what ramifications this has on the women and femmes that see Swastika Sweeney pander to the taint, the gooch of the MAGA male sapiens by embodying a white supremacist anti-feminist as well as straight up pedo-baiting image. And if you think it's a stretch, look at this. Carrie, thank you very much. Is that a Lolita reference? Exactly. Because upon first glance, this may seem like an innocuous, infantilizing post to further bolster the Sweeney, doe-eyed girl next door typecast that she showcases in shows like Euphoria, which most people know her for, as we were talking about. However, for the film nerds, this scene looks familiar because it's an homage to a movie and a book that is as iconic as it is infamous. I am talking about none other than Lolita. The book itself is often misunderstood. People be thinking that it is a pro-kick piece of literature, but it's actually a critique of it. It's a cautionary tale, thank you. Whether intentionally or not, people like to misconstrue this as a proto-diddler propaganda. It's the same thing with American Psycho. These were cautionary tales. However, the movie adaptation, which these stills are from, definitely had a different portrayal of the characters in the books. And that is what Sydney is showcasing here. She posted on July 1st. Only a couple days later, she go post about eugenics. If you don't see the overlap between races and kicking joyous, then I can't help you.
Sabrina Carpenter did something like this recently where she also did a Lolita shoot. I think she said she didn't know what it was or whatever, and I guess whoever art directed her like came up with this Lolita reference. Versus this, where it's like, that's her just like posting like randomly.
It's clear that Swastika Sweeney has chosen an audience. She is catering to the male gaze, and not just any male gaze, but the MAGA male gaze. Emphasis on the MAGA, because she defended her Trump supporting family after a particular image went viral. This one right here. Images before something terribly goes wrong. When you see these folks at the function, don't eat the food, leave before the sun sets, and if you think that you're gonna get any liquor seasoning, think again, because ketchup here is spicy. The demographic that liked her as Cassie in Euphoria and hated her in Handmaid's Tale, that is who she's trying to target. And unfortunately, there are very few cases in entertainment where a woman who panders towards men gets paid off. There's a danger in male-centered and internalized patriarchal pandering. But we have her here, Lolita baiting in the year of our Lord, 2025.
American Eagle mostly is like a women like focused brand. This is weird because it's an ad to me that is catered toward men.
I've never seen an American Eagle logo on any nigga ass. Them niggas be wearing Levi's. Sabrina Carpenter did the exact same thing. She did the same shot down to the damn sprinkler.
A lot of Sabrina's audience is women, and a lot of men don't like Sabrina. I think she has some not great fetishy people around her who will do stuff like this. She came out and she was like, oh, I didn't know that this was Lolita.
She literally altered a lyric while she was on the BBC. Wait, what?
BBC said I should keep it PG. BBC, I wish I had it in me.
Oh God. Look at this man. There's a double meaning if you dig deep.
If you dig deep.
It's unfortunate that this is unsurprising. This is a footnote in the things that I'm about to talk about in regards to Sabrina Carpenter. What people are most mad for isn't even this, nor the awful freestyling that fetishizes black men. It was mostly this.
It's allegedly the album cover art for Man's Best Friend. There was also some imagery that had like a dog collar. There were like kind of two sides to this that I think both of them are wrong. She's playing like 4D chess type of thing. This is what we're seeing now, but the whole album is going to talk about how like she's actually being like subversive and like intentionally provocative, and I don't think that's right. I think there were a lot of people who were like, she's like 100% catering to the male gaze and almost kink shaming her, and I don't quite like that either.
Shorty is on her knees with her blonde hair being balled up and suspended from a white man's hand like a dog on a leash. That similarly ain't no stretch because the album's literally named Man's Best Friend. I agree that folks are definitely far more puritanical in their like consumption of media. And I think that like people using this to kink shame is a problem. A lot of the gals that were on Disney as child stars, when they're trying to mature, they end up imitating black women because black femininity is adultified and sexualized by default. So you had folks like Miley Cyrus, Nicki Grande, all of a sudden sporting black sense and twerking on Mike Will Made It in order to communicate maturity. I give Sabrina Carpenter her flowers insofar as just like she showed maturation by leaning into white femininity. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, if anything else happened here. But I've never seen Sabrina sport a black scent, but at the same time, she is appealing to the type of man, especially in cases like this, with imagery like this, the type of man that desires positions of power and the submission of a docile woman. So she's allowing herself to be the vehicle for the male power fantasy. This ain't the same type of sexual liberation that Megan Thee Stallion is due, which by the way, if Megan Thee Stallion were to do some like this, Megan Thee Stallion gets slut shamed every day and twice on Sundays. If Megan Thee Stallion did this, she would never be taken seriously again in a lot of different circles. However, white women like Sabrina Carpenter have the flexibility of femininity.
It is shocking to people because she's like this little white feminine woman. And like if Megan Thee Stallion did this kind of thing, it would be received differently because the sexualization and in some ways the dehumanization of black women is expected. Whereas this, like people have a more intense reaction to it because they're not used to seeing white women, small feminine white women depicted in that way.
Bonnie Blue could have like 1,000-man march and then have a sit down interview the next where they're treated like a human being.
Yeah.
Black women don't get that. Black women are dehumanized if they play and lean into their sexuality in any event. For my carpenters out there, what exactly do you all have to say about Shorty doing this? Breathe in, breathe out. Get a paper bag.
And down, you know, because you want to feel like stable in your heart, don't you? But how old are you actually? You're 16? Oh no, you got time. Let him hook you up. No, I'm kidding. No, don't do that. I'm just saying, if you're 16, I feel like it's definitely a time where you're learning people and you're learning what you won't like and what you will like. I also don't know why I'm giving you advice. I don't know anything. Have you heard the album? Yeah, but I feel like I have a little bit more knowledge now. So where would you say right now, like, how are you feeling? Would you say you're feeling quite sad? Would you say you're feeling angry? Or would you say you are horny?
Oh, God.
16? Oh, no, you got time. Let him hook you up. No, I'm kidding. No, don't do that. I'm just saying, if you're 16, I feel like it's definitely a time where you're learning people and you're learning what you won't like and what you will like. I also don't know why I'm giving you advice. I don't know anything. Have you heard the album? Yeah, but I feel like I have a little bit more knowledge now. So where would you say right now, like, how are you feeling? Would you say you're feeling quite sad? Would you say you're feeling angry? Or would you say you are horny?
Co-potter. Oh, God. Co-potter. There's nothing that you could say to make this okay, and that's okay. That's okay. You like the espresso song? You like the little, pancake that she be throwing inside the circle? That's fine. You can do that. You can like that. You can like that. It's okay. We can get through this shit. But there's no way that a 27-year-old woman is talking to a 16-year-old child. I think it's a her. I don't know. It might just be a boy with a very high voice or someone got HRT or someone that is just that young. Maybe they weren't 16. I don't know. But all I know, and she knew, the person that replied is 16, and then this grown woman who could drive, have to pay full car insurance, then says, "Are you horny?" Oh, God. And they clapped. They were clapping like seals. Oh, God. After asking a minor if they're horny. If this was a big rusty man with a bald spot and a bare belly that looked like grown-up Timmy Turner, he would have been kickified immediately and in jail, my guy. But because it is a desirable blonde celebrity, this act garnered claps instead of cuffs. You really had me going bad for her like half an hour knowing you were gonna drop this and crush me the whole time. Oh God. No, I take no pleasure in this because this is how I felt when Morrissey turned out to be a MAGA supporting racist ass nigga. You know how many moments I've had to Morrissey? I know. But these are people, they are fallible, and sometimes ask 16-year-olds if they're horny, I guess.
This is the first time I am seeing this. This obviously bothers me more than the album cover does. Sabrina gets away with a lot of this stuff because of the way that she looks. Also, she's not the only one. Taylor Swift, for those who don't know, dated a 17-year-old.
What?
For like a while.
Hold on, no, you can't just breeze past that. That's not just something that you just say.
No, yeah. She, this was, oh my God. Okay, this is gonna sound insane, but I think I'm getting my story straight. She had an obsession with the Kennedy family for a while and dated.
Wait, come the Y'all niggas is be doing things like this. Y'all this how y'all getting down? This what y'all doing? This what y'all doing while I was offline? Are y'all serious? This gal could buy my block about 5 times. Oh God. She can retire my whole family 5 times. And you mean to tell me that this gal have pictures of her dating a nigga that in high school? Oh God.
Yeah, so she was obsessed with the Kennedy family and was literally trying to get in with them, I guess. This was during, I think a while ago. But yeah, Taylor Swift has done stuff like this. Sabrina has done stuff like the clip that you just played. There's a reason why this all gets memory hold either by the media or the collective consciousness. And it's because when we see young, conventionally attractive white women doing stuff like this, it doesn't register to us as predatory. They tend to bring up those excuses more so than they would to ever defend a black woman.
It's like seeing a baby JFK being preyed upon in broad daylight. This gal could drop this nigga to school. Oh God. Bro, I have a son. I ready to ride for this man. Where is he now and is he okay? This gal is one of the most acclaimed white women, period. I need to turn the AC because I'm hot. That's not my smoke alarm. I know y'all think that all niggas have a bad smoke alarm, but no, that is the AC that y'all just heard beep. This is wild.
I think this is RFK's son, I'm pretty sure. Robert F. Kennedy, I'm pretty sure.
The lizard nigga? Oh God. The lizard health secretary? You lie. No way. You serious? These niggas probably ain't even vaccinated. Bro, I'm getting lightheaded, bro. These niggas are in thong sandals committing atrocities. These niggas are in thong sandals and pro base shop hats committing crimes. Oh God. Bro, I lost my voice, bro. I could barely talk. Y'all let one of the most famous white gals get away with kickophilia, bro. There's a different world where rules don't apply, bro. I just got pulled over on my way here for tints. This gal fondling kids. And me. In broad daylight. In thong sandals, and niggas then allow her to play the Super Bowl. Oh God. That's different. Foreign gets pulled over for tints. Foreign is defaulting on his student loans. This gal here is fondling a president whose brains got blown out. Relative. Oh God. Apart from the kickcore antics, the objectification begets more objectification till it's literally a personality. Whether Sabrina is aware of it or not, she's playing into the hands of the MAGA sapien platform of ideal femininity. Y'all need to start reading between the lines. Y'all always be surprised when Joey Swole them come out dressed up like Hulk Hogan and talking about colored people. The only person that pales in comparison to her, the third horseman of MAGA pick-me's. This is really my first time really encountering Jojo Siwa right here.
I am getting married to Chris Hughes. Actually, I am not a lesbian. I said I was a lesbian. It was all because of the pressure from the LGBTQ plus community and people around me. Even on the British Big Brother program, Mickey Rourke asked me if I was gay in front of everyone. At that moment, I was so embarrassed that I felt that I could only admit something to make myself less embarrassed. My sexual orientation has always been fluid, and I identify more with the word queer. I don't belong to any label. I only belong to myself. I love Chris. He is my true soulmate. We will live together, raise children together, and plan a wedding together. All of this is real. I know that some people will say that I am betraying a group, or even think that I am bringing shame to them. I am just protecting myself, who finally dared to tell the truth.
I am a Jojo Siwa scholar at this point. Jojo Siwa is a former child star. After Jojo left Dance Moms, she became a kids entertainer. Then she was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I am a hashtag bad girl now. At the same time, she also identified as a lesbian. Up until very recently. She went on a show called Big Brother. While she was on that show, she had a girlfriend at the time, actually. And then she started dating a man named Chris Hughes, who was also on the cast of Big Brother. And now she is doing a weird rebrand where she's like dressing in vintage pearls and a bob.
This gal look like Gal Gadot. Y'all been asking me to touch on Jojo from time since she joined the Billie Eilish folkdom as one of the best illustrations of the white lesbian urge to dress like Soulja Boy in the early 2000s. Oh God. Tell me why this gal got more Cuban links than Raekwon.
And I say, oh, I'm a lesbian.
Why white lesbians think the way to showcase masculinity is to be a nigga off the wire.
And she knows just what it takes to make the problem.
Bro. This gal sound like a female Tom Waits. Sound like she's soca vocal cords in bourbon.
Another important piece of Jojo Siwa lore, I guess, that I left out is that she, with her mom, she founded this group called XOMG Pop, which is like a bunch of little kids who like she made into like mini JoJos, like they were a girl group who would sing and dance and stuff. And then this whole expose came out that they were basically like being abused and like overworked. And so JoJo's initial like, I'm going to be a bad girl rebrand, the thing with the black costume, like around that time, that was like basically a distraction from the abuse.
Got disabled by virtue of her abuse, or was just disabled and she
no, was disabled, I think had a spinal condition and was basically made to like overwork and like dance so much and so long that she like literally was like, I think bleeding out of her like abdomen, and they made her like put like a maxi pad over it and continue dancing.
What?
Like, yeah.
And she's above ground?
Yeah.
This gal abused a disabled gal until she bled. And she's above ground.
There's a whole lawsuit going on, and I think this speaks to the fact in this case, and Sabrina and Taylor Swift, and in some cases Sydney too, like it's all these white girls who probably, came of age in very predatory Hollywood environments. JoJo was abused. There's literally videos of like, her dance teacher, Abby Lee Miller, screaming at her, and her mom was like a nightmare stage mom. And then she turned around and perpetuated that abuse to other young girls with the promise of like making them stars. JoJo has lived her entire life like in front of a camera, like since she was on Dance Moms, then she became like a social media influencer, a children's entertainer. Her hair has been dyed blonde since she was 2 years old by her mom. She's not naturally blonde. Her entire like self-worth and value is ascribed to her content, and she's doing this like inflammatory content. There have been tweets of like these conservative influencers who will take a picture of that and what she used to look like when she was like, out and proud lesbian, and be like, look at this man that fixed her.
Y'all ain't seeing heaven, bro. God can turn y'all niggas around. There's an obvious angle to these three women that we have to address. They may very well be aware that they are pandering to the MAGA sapiens. Much like how the Kardashians DBBL themselves, blonded themselves, these women are doing the same thing. In a tumultuous global recession, uncertain times, people with privilege are siding with their privilege, and in this case is evading capture. And one of those privileges that we fail to note, to rage bait. And she's rage baiting herself into success, just like this guy.
Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding
helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different
Sorry, just
kind
to
of
be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N-word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
This is Lily Gaddis or whatever her name is. She went viral for simply saying the word nigga. A word I get demonetized for, by the way. But she gets catapulted to a talk show across from a black man with degrees and talent. Think about that for a second. A white man whose only certification is saying the N-word with a hard R sans hesitation deserves a seat at the table across from Mark Lamont Hill. To a white supremacist society, they are on the same echelon. This gal rage baited her way into racist royalty in a time where things tough and Hollywood ain't paying as much. Music artists showing up to Kai, the stream, because streamers making more money than music artists at this time. White celebrities are reading the tea leaves, and the tea leaves are telling them that there's money in racism. There's money in eugenics.
You call him a
yeah, I remember this.
Did you call the child It is my own business. You call him Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. Alright, that's what you say. That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one is gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
After this lady called a special needs black baby the N-word and then started a GoFundMe because she claimed she was in fear for her life since this video went viral and the uppins had come, she got over $500,000. I see folks saying the internet raised $1 million. Her racism got her richer than everybody else in this chat. Racism can be your retirement plan.
With Jojo in particular, and Sydney Sweeney too, to an extent, maybe more so Jojo, like, they're not necessarily like too on the nose with it. It's all still very coded that way because you benefit from the ambiguity and you revel in that ambiguity. When people find that these things are very specifically coded, you can't turn around and be like, oh, you're thinking too deeply about it. I think you just benefit from like the gray area that we give to these specific types.
This is the reason why when folks say that American Eagle ad ain't that deep, that, Sabrina doing this and that ain't that deep, that is exactly why the retort is always, from me, that is not that deep for you, because you have the privilege for it not to be. The people privileged enough to ignore the ramifications of racism, ableism, misogyny, misogynoir, police brutality, etc., is never too deep for them. But to us, if you don't look like Sabrina Carpenter, even if you do, if you aren't moneyed like Sabrina Carpenter, you can't afford to ignore dog whistles. Remember the folks who minimize them. Remember the folks that sided with a paucity of power at the expense for everyone else, humanity.